Okay, apparently I'm live. So it says there's a couple of people out there. So hello to the early arrivals. Hopefully everything's working okay. I'm never sure when I start this up. Tony, hello. I'm doing okay. I have occasional times when I have to sit, but I'm doing okay, thanks. Gary, hello. Thank you. My grumpy wife always says it's not Christmas yet. Christmas is the 7th of January. I have a very extended Christmas. Okay, it says there's 9 people now. We'll give it a bit longer. Paul, hello. Let's hope it's a happy Christmas. Hello, Steve, Julie. I'm confused. Sonia, Julie. So is your name Julie? Alan, hello in New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand? As the channel's been growing, it's hard to keep up. For some reason, my last video is approaching 3,000 views, and I've had a spurt of new members. So on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. So your day's just beginning. I, of course, have received a new record from New Zealand in the week. I was waiting for, it seemed forever. Although the worst one, I've had records arrive from New Zealand, France, America, Argentina, and Israel. The one that's got stuck is from Germany. It's been stuck in, well, it said it left Germany on the 9th. And then there was no news at all until this morning when suddenly it popped up as being in customs at Heathrow. So I don't know where it's been all this time. I was hoping to have it tonight because I was going to open it during the live stream. But that'll have to wait. Hopefully it'll be here before Christmas. We've got 12 watching now. Hello to everybody. Thanks, Tony. Maybe it's because I don't do the asking people to subscribe. I always think if people want to subscribe, they'll subscribe. All right, Juliet. That's a bit confusing. So is everybody ready for Christmas? We're having a very quiet Christmas. I need to rest, so we're not going to go anywhere. Just me and my wife. And the cat, of course. Well, I've been buying quite a bit lately. Luckily, my wife doesn't know what I spend. My hi-fi system cost a bit of money, but I wanted something good. And of course, keep buying the records. So I'll show you the first. Of course, for many of us in the UK, one of the first records a lot of us got was Separate Ways, Camden. I still remember going with my mum to Woolworths, and she bought this for me. I think it was 90 pence at the time. And I love this album. And then, of course, you find out that the American version is slightly different. No traffic. So you collect those, and I thought that was it until I came across this. This is from Australia. Great cover. It is an RCA disc, orange label. And I've been told by somebody in Australia that this came out in the early 80s. So that's a variation to look out for. I have to say, it's the first time I've ever seen it. And I've been collecting since 1973. David, hello. Pictures of Elvis, love going to Woolworths. Yep. I always remember them being on spinner racks. Spin the record round. I think a lot of us started with the Camdens. And then, of course, hopefully you've all got yours by now. The new FTD, California Holiday. I really like the fact that they chose to do the UK red spot, which looks really good. I haven't played it yet. Now, of course, I can. It's an album I've always liked. I think it's one of the better soundtracks. Ollie, hello. Now this arrived today, and this illustrates a problem that I'm coming across. So music on vinyl, 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong, Gold Records Volume 2. I'm getting close to completing the music on vinyls. There's not many I need now. But the problem that I've seen quite a lot lately on new albums is, I don't know if you can see, if it will show, but the top is split. I don't know why this is, but I'm seeing this quite a few times. So it's got to be something to do with the way that they're producing the sleeves. Very annoying. Now, I don't know if anyone else collects music on vinyl, but you'll often see two versions. So with the black label, it's black vinyl, and with the gold label, it's going to be coloured vinyl. David, I have that with Elvis in there. Says, yep, I've seen it quite a few times. I've got brand new arrive with the top split. You think of all the decades they were producing albums and that doesn't happen, and now it does. So what are they doing differently? I'm wondering if they're making the covers too tight to the disc. They need to have a little room to move. Oh, have you got your new shelving set up? I've got some new shelving this side. I've rearranged all this to clear some extra shelves that had other stuff in. So now all my records are off the floor. They're all on shelves. I'm looking at moving this. I've got a wardrobe here. I'm looking at moving that out to get some more shelving in. Tony, poor quality control. Yep. You do find it's hard to get the records back in the sleeves when you take them out. So I think they're making the tolerances are too tight. They need a bit more room. Now, this is one that I've been looking for a while. So standard Elvis in concert. Nothing different about the cover. But the difference with this one is it's on red vinyl. I've been looking for it for quite a while, and then one popped up for sale. So I was pleased to get that. And when the chap sent it, I paid £50 for it, which I thought was very reasonable, because it's not an easy one to find. And the chap who sent me it said I'm including a gift for Christmas. So I thought it was going to be some sort of card or trinket. So I was surprised it was this 10-inch the alternate Moody Blue, which was very nice of him. Something I didn't have. I've been looking out for RCA Special Products albums. So this is one I didn't have. It's Songs of Faith and Inspiration. Here's one from Australia. Hawaiian Sunshine. I have to look out now for the more obscure things. Oh, this one I was pleased to get. This is the one that came from Argentina. So Frankie and Johnny, Rubius contra Pelirroius. And I've been told that it means redhead versus blondes, which I suppose is a very clever way of summing up the film. Nipper. And the back cover. The song titles are all in Spanish. So again, not an easy album to find. Oops. Oops. John, hello, thank you. Paul, you keep showing items I don't have. I'm sure everybody out there has got items that I don't have. The shopping list is getting huge. I know it's never ending. There's loads I don't have that I'd love to find. You do get to the stage when you've got all the basic UK and then you go on to American albums, then you want to sort of branch out. Well, I do anyway. And I can't stop. I just enjoy the hunt. Now, of course, my blue Hawaiis, I'm now up to 42. I was challenged to find 50. I'm up to 42. This is a particularly nice one. Tado at the top. And at the bottom, Tado Records, Korea. So this is the Korean pressing. And the label is very different. Red with gold lettering, which isn't very easy to read. So that was a nice addition. I finally got a copy of the Japanese original King Creole. Very different cover. On the Victor label, if it'll show up, there you go, Victor. So again, that's one I've wanted for quite a while. It's I don't like paying the massive prices for mint condition. I'm quite happy to have something that's very good condition. Oops. Try not to let them fall over. Tell me, what is the one item record that's #1 on your wish list? The #1 on my wish list is the one that's coming from Germany, that I was hoping would be here tonight because I was going to open it live. I won't spoil you by telling you what it is. Order the Japanese album, not it probably would, but finding 50s and early 60s Japanese albums with the obi is extremely rare, and they fetch a lot of money. They just don't survive. So I would assume it had one. I'll have to check the book, wherever that is. David's book, it's around here somewhere. So I'm not that bothered about obis if it's got it or not, because it's the album I want. So we go from that King Creole to a very recent one, Wax Time. I haven't played any of these Wax Time discs yet. I'd be interested to see what the sound is like. So this is on a very odd orange colour. So we'll find out. Of course, it's always said that coloured vinyl doesn't sound as good as black. Whether that's still true, I don't know. So staying with King Creole, you see at the top, Domido LP. So again, a red label. And this is also from Korea. And whoever owned it originally, I don't know if it'll show up, in fake pencil has written "I love you" and an arrow down to Elvis. Eleanor, hello. Do I have any Chinese LPs? I don't. No, Korean. I don't know how many Chinese LPs have ever been released. I've seen Hong Kong. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Ollie, have you seen the new documentary, The Return of the King? I did. Yeah, it was good. I don't really think it told us anything new. But if it got Elvis out there to the public, then it's always good. I see the announcement of Baz Luhrmann's documentary based around the footage he's discovered. I forget the name of the company. They've confirmed that it's in production. I don't know whether this was just the way they phrased it, but it said based around unseen footage and recordings. Now, whether they mean the recordings with the footage or they found some recordings, I don't know. Be very exciting if it was the latter, but probably not. Probably just the way they worded it. David, hello. I'm feeling pretty good lately. I've had a couple of little episodes where I've had to sit down and use my spray, but all in all, positive. Looking forward to resting over Christmas. Now, let's see where we got these. This is probably the big one of the recent acquisitions. So of course, these came out not long ago. 2 EPs. Very nice. And of course, they use the famous New Zealand Christmas album cover, which is a very simple design, but it is iconic. I think it's a really good design, and it's something of a holy grail, of course, amongst Elvis record collectors. And very, very expensive, as David saw at a fair recently where they wanted €1,200 for a copy. So I thought it was something that would always be out of my reach. Hello, Rodney. Texas, welcome. Do you fix pianos? So I did a little hunting around, and there's a record shop in New Zealand. And they had one for sale, and when I saw the price, I was a bit dubious. So I asked for some pictures. And they came back and they said, you know, it's got a few problems, but it's pretty good. So I bought it. So I now have the New Zealand Christmas album. Now this is the second pressing of it, because they repressed it several times. So, $150. I couldn't believe it. $150 because it said it wasn't in perfect condition. That's got to be one of the buys of the year, that is. So it was a very anxious wait for it to arrive. Mark, hello, welcome. So I'm really pleased with this. for my Elvis Christmas collection, there's only one more really that I feel I need to get, and that is the Japanese Christmas album with the baubles on the front cover. Thanks, David. Eleanor, so what year is it? What, the Christmas album? It came out in 57, so that's their version of the 1957 Christmas album. Oops. I don't know when it was repressed. Apparently they repressed it for several years. So there's no date on the cover. I'm sure somebody can tell me. So if we stay with the Christmas theme for a bit, I can remember where I've put them. Put that one there for now. So we've got these. Blue Christmas, Merry Christmas Baby, I'll Be Home for Christmas, and no, I got that wrong. I'll Be Home for Christmas, Peace in the Valley, Blue Christmas, Merry Christmas Baby. So for anyone that's not aware of what these are, in I think it was 2022, was it? Graceland announced that on 6 specific days, visitors to Graceland had the opportunity to get 6 singles. One would be on each specific day, and they would only be available on that day, and that would be it. So they all have unique covers and unique combinations of songs. So I've got half of them so far. So those are the 2 Christmas ones, and the other one that I've got is Memphis, Tennessee, and That's All Right, Mama. So these are not going to be easy to find. Eleanor, have you got the Portuguese LP? Is that the one where it's a drawing of him? I don't have the vinyl. I do have the CD version. I've not seen the vinyl one for sale. If I saw it, I would buy it. Mark, where did you find the Graceland 45s? I spend a lot of time hunting eBay, Discogs, record sites. That's how I've managed to build my collection. Just dedicate a lot of time to hunting for them. So the 3 that I've bought so far, one actually came from a UK person. I don't know where they got it from. The other 2 came from America. So I expect them to turn up mostly in America, but you just have to keep looking. There was also a set of singles released in a box at the same time called the Sapphire Collection. Again, they've got unique picture sleeves, but it was very expensive, and it's not like $600 or $800. So I don't know how many of those were sold. I've never seen one being offered anywhere. Alexander, hello. Somebody asked about Girl Happy. Where was that? I apologize if I miss. Where was it? David, have you got the Girl Happy sessions? It hasn't arrived yet. Has anybody got theirs? I think I saw somebody posting that they'd received it. Hopefully I'll get it before Christmas. Looking forward to it. I like Girl Happy. I like the film and I like the soundtrack. Alexander, what is your Holy Grail record? I don't know if maybe you missed it. The New Zealand Christmas album. Something I never thought I'd get. That's the one. Now, I do have another. I was saying earlier, I do have another one, Holy Grail, coming from Germany. I was hoping it would be here tonight and I would open it during the live stream. It's currently stuck at customs at Heathrow, taking forever to come. It was posted on the 9th of December from Germany. They're supposed to take 4 or 5 days. But hopefully it'll be here soon. Now, where did I get to? Alexander, do you have the New Zealand or Australian Easy Come Easy Go? No, I don't. Mark, hello. Another Mark. Mark's mine is on the way. Must be frustrating in America to have to wait, seeing everybody else opening theirs. Eleanor, it's the hunt, isn't it? And the right price, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can buy the Japanese Christmas album. I've seen it for sale, £1,200. I can't bring myself to pay that. I'll keep looking. I do tend to buy Japanese albums from Japan. They are very good at postage. It's quite reasonable, and they're very good at packing, and it actually arrives very quickly. And they are a lot cheaper if you buy from Japan than if you buy from a local dealer. Where are we now? David, I've got a spare copy of the Christmas album Red Dot. I've actually got a good copy of that. Thank you. There may be somebody else around who would like it. I do, whenever I get doubles, I do like to give them away to people who are starting collecting. Annie, hello. There you go, David. Mark might be interested. Now then, I do have some more Christmas. Where have I put them? Down here somewhere. There we go. Now, I don't know if people are aware of what these are. Really nice cover. So the clue is on the back, 2001 season greetings. So each year, Graceland sends a Christmas CD to the presidents of all the fan clubs around the world. And inside there's a little note. And they used to be from Lisa, Marie and Priscilla. And the discs have always got something on them. So again, not things that turn up for sale that often, though if you keep looking, they will turn up. So I've had that one for a while, and recently I had the chance to buy 4 more. So there is a website that shows all the different discs that have been done over the years. And of course, the collector in me wants to keep looking out for them. Now, I don't know how many they produce, but obviously can't be that many. That's 1999. It's the earliest one I've got so far. So I've now got 5 of those. Does anybody else have any? Anybody collecting them? Eleanor's got 3. Excellent. I did think of starting my own fan club. Just me, president. Send me discs, send me discs. There you go. David's very generously offered a Christmas album in Loving You, which Mark's taking up. Paul purchased a Japanese single from Japan as a tester. Took 5 days. Yep, they're really good, really efficient, and the prices are so much cheaper. I've actually recently come across what's it called? I think I've got it on my iPad. A site called Dubstore UK. Dubstore UK. It's Japanese sellers. You order from the site. It's in pounds. They then send the records from Japan to their distributor in the UK, who then sends it to you. So you're only paying UK postage. And I bought a lot from there. My Japanese collection has exploded. Mark, my making of King Creole left on the 13th. Still no movement. That's so frustrating, isn't it? My parcel from Japan on the 9th, it said it's left Germany. And that was it until this morning. I did actually put an inquiry in, so maybe that G'd them up a bit. But I can't see any excuse for it, because during that time I received records from Israel, America, and Argentina. So I don't know what happened there. David, fan club, great idea, Steve. Yeah, we'll form our own fan club. Speaking of the fan club, I of course joined the UK fan club in 1973. I've still got one of my original membership cards, and I've still got the badge. Of course, the fan club became pretty much dormant over the past few years, but Todd Slaughter has recently handed it on to a new team who are resurrecting it. £22 for a year's membership. They've started a bi-monthly e-magazine. Volume 2 has just come online. They're having regular draws with very good prizes. Worth joining. If you go to Elvis for sale with the number 4, you can join there. And they have some exclusive stuff. In fact, they announced recently something that is only going to be available from the fan club. If I can find it. Hold on a second. Now, initially, there are going to be 300 of these, the deluxe version, and then later it will be, but it's only available from the fan club. Glenn D. Hardin's book. Of course, Elvis is a piano player and arranger. So this deluxe version, only 300 copies, you can only get through the fan club. So there's a good reason to join. Mal, hello. It's coming out in spring of next year. So if you are interested, I would act very quickly, because I don't think they're going to last very long. I wonder if Sean's aware, as he's the bookman. Right, where did I get to? Yep, Eleanor agrees on the fan club. Annie, I like your hat. I was looking for my fan club membership badge to stick there, but I'm not sure where I've put it. It might in fact be on my jacket. because I did wear it quite recently. Mark, Steve, where is the site? It's Elvis for sale and the number 4.com. So they have records for sale there, and they also operate the fan club, so you can join the fan club there. I can show you. So they do a bi-monthly electronic magazine as well. So this is January's issue. They actually have an interview with Paul Alner. Of course, recently did his volume 2. And he confirms that he is looking at a volume 3. They also do regular prize draws, and the prizes are pretty good. So this is the next prize, and it retails at £159. So that will be the next prize in their draw. The first prize was an autographed copy of Lisa Marie's book. So well worth joining. They also have things like discounts on events, so 15% off an evening with Ginger Alden. So if you're in the UK, get on there and join. Of course, the UK fan club is one of the oldest fan clubs of an artist in the world. But the book is £120, of course. It's the deluxe version. There will be a regular version later. This is just the deluxe limited. It comes with some extra bonus things. And Mal, anybody got the King Creole box set yet? Has anybody received theirs? I have seen people saying that they've got it. Has anybody got it? Mark, the site. Oh, right, the site where we buy the Japanese vinyl. Yeah, it's now it is a UK one. Whether there's an American version of this, because I've seen there's also a German version. It's called Dub Store UK. And I've seen they also have a Dub Store Germany. So if there's a Dub Store USA, it'd be worth looking. They always have a very good selection. Currently, they've got 651 Elvis items for sale. So a large part of my Japanese collection has come from these people. David, I got all the Elvis special annuals in mint condition. Now, I used to have a lot of those, and I don't know what happened to them. When I moved to Finland, like all my Elvis monthlies were boxed up, and a lot of stuff disappeared. Half of my cassette collection disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. Alexandra, I only buy vinyls, don't do books. I'm the same. I can't afford it. I spend so much on records and CDs that, although I did recently buy one book, because when I saw the price, I thought I would be an idiot not to buy that. £30. Writing for the King. £30. I had to buy it. I got that quite recently. If you keep looking, these things turn up. They obviously don't last very long because somebody snaps them up. So if I see books priced like that, I'll buy them. This is a particularly interesting book, of course. They interviewed people who wrote songs for Elvis. So I should be getting into that. Now, still waiting for the Elvis Shop London. Yep. No, that's only people in the EU. Hello, another regular. I say the man from Atlantis. So I've only added one CD recently, apart from the Graceland ones, and it's a promo. The movie years. So I do like promo discs. I have a big collection of. I'm a fan of Tori Amos as well, and I have a big collection of Tori Amos promos. Oops. Paul, hello, you made it. Well, yes, you missed me showing the New Zealand Christmas album, but any excuse to show it, and I will. For those who've arrived recently. So it's one of the holy grails, which I never thought I could afford. And as I said, I came across a New Zealand record shop, and they had one listed for $150. So I inquired, and he said, oh, it's not in perfect condition. Sent me a couple of pictures. I immediately pressed buy, because that looks in pretty good condition to me. All right, it's not perfect, but who cares? For $150. Quite flimsy covers, but I just love that cover. Now, he said that this is the second pressing, that they did repress it several times. There you go. So that's got to be one of the bargains of the year, that is. Eleanor, I got that in 2002. You've got the New Zealand. Now, if you go on Discogs and you search, there was one on there, a bit more expensive than that one, but still very reasonably priced, from New Zealand. Again, you've got to look in the country of origin, because I'm sure if a UK dealer had that, that would not have been the equivalent of $150. Paul, is it the first press? No, they told me it's the second press. Andrew, hello. Thank you. I feel a lot better than I did. I'm not totally out of the woods yet, but I've been feeling really good lately. What was the name of the shop? I'll have to look. I think it was it Steamboat Records, something like that? Let me have a look. They don't have, well, they do have a shop website, but they don't have any stock on it at the moment. So I found them through Discogs. See, there we go. Now I expect when these come up for sale, they don't. Slowboat Records. Slowboat Records, they're called. Yes, in Wellington. Now I noticed they did have another one listed, but it looks like it might have gone already. So if you want one, keep an eye on them. Paul, do you know the story behind the cover? I don't, do you? Nicola, hello. Alexander. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. When he said it's not in perfect condition, so it's $150, I couldn't believe it. Robert, hello. I have a mid-80s re-release. So how many times have they re-released it? Paul, the cheapest I found it was 400. Keep looking, because as I've shown, like with the book and that, these things do turn up. Hey, cheap beat up Elvis Presley vinyl, hello. You've made it. And a Merry Christmas to you. Your King Creole looked in far too good condition. A nice gift though. Man, have you picked? Yeah, I've got California Holiday. I showed it earlier. I've not played it yet. I'm having great fun playing my records. It's like rediscovering old friends. You really see the difference. You get used to listening to CDs and you tell yourself it's good sound. To me, it's like CDs are two-dimensional. All right, it's digital sound. And then you put a good vinyl album on a good hi-fi system and suddenly it's like you're hearing it in 3D. The whole landscape of sound just opens up far more than on a CD. I don't think I can go back to listening to CDs. I'm amazed at the difference it makes. I was listening to Blue Hawaii, the one on the 245 RPM discs, and I was just blown away by the sound, but by the things I was hearing. And what really brought it home to me was during Ito Heats. And of course, that's a silly little throwaway song that we all sing along to. And I was just listening, and suddenly out of the right speaker came this guitar part that I had never appreciated before. It's far too good for the song. It deserved a much better song. If anybody's heard it, I know Mark's listened to it. That guitar part in Ito Eats, it just blew me away. And all the time you're just picking up instruments here and there, little things. And it's almost like you're hearing what Elvis heard in the studio. Every musician's contribution comes out cleanly. I'm just amazed at the difference it makes. So anyone who's thinking of getting a record player, spend a bit of money, get a really nice system. It's well worth it. I spent months researching what to get, and that's how I got the Rega Planar 3. I'm just blown away by it. Mark's off. Thanks for coming. Hope your King Creole arrives soon on your California holiday. Nick, I have a very small collection compared to yours. We all start small. It's not the size of the collection, it's the quality. And let's face it, Elvis records are quality because he's Elvis. I would say buy the best you can afford. You never regret it. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. These days, you can get pretty much Elvis's entire catalogue of songs at a very reasonable price. I mean, I was happy getting my 90p Camdens when my mum would buy them from Woolworths. Blown away by them. I thought they were fantastic. And I'm sure everybody's got something I haven't got. We all form our own collections. Well, of course, we are in the presence of a rock star now because Christian put his band on his last video. If anybody hasn't heard it, go along and have a listen. A reinterpretation of Merry Christmas Baby. What was the original like? Did Elvis change it? I can't imagine it was always a bluesy song. Paul, when the record was first pressed, they were looking for a cover shot, couldn't agree, so the cover ended up behind a drawing done by the president of RCA New Zealand. Wow. I've often wondered if these drawn covers were relatives of somebody at RCA, because some of them are really bad. But that New Zealand one, I think, is a really nice cover. Nicola, I have an old turntable on top of my wardrobe. Get it down and dust it off. Annie, what year did you start collecting Elvis records? Now that's a complicated subject, not as easy as it sounds, because I'm sure, like most collectors today, you didn't see yourself as a collector back then. I was a fan buying records. And in fact, I wrote this recently on a forum. There comes a point when you look at your 20th copy of an album and think, okay, I'm a collector. I never saw myself as a collector. I was a fan. So when did I start? Well, 1973, of course. That's when I sort of date it from. Though my mum always told a story that as a young baby, when I was just old enough to sit upright, they would sit me on the floor in front of a portable record player, and they would put a stack of singles on, give me a Farley's rusk, and I would sit there chewing on the rusk. And they said I was more watching the records go round and then the next one dropping down. But they said they noticed that there was one record that I reacted differently, and that was my dad's single, King Creole Dixieland Rock. And he said when that came on, and they would experiment by putting it in amongst records, that I always reacted differently. I would start waving my arms and rocking backwards and forwards. So they said I was an Elvis fan from then. Of course, I don't remember that, but I've still got the single. Alexandra, I bought myself a vintage Storrens 160 and it blew my modern iron player out of the water. Fantastic. Yep. Vinyl has much more depth. It does. It's just, it's like a different landscape of sound that you just don't get from a CD. That's what I'm saying. A CD to me is like two-dimensional. Vinyl's three-dimensional. Suddenly it just opens up. Christian, I love your stories about your mum letting you pick out an Elvis record. I have a lot of memories of my mum with Elvis. She would always look out. I was the sort of kid who never asked for anything. I have two sisters and a brother, and they were constantly on, and I was the one that would never ask. And very often she would walk in and hand me a brown paper bag, and there would be a magazine in there with Elvis on, or a record. So a lot of my records and that have memories of my mum, who I still miss. Where did I get to now? Nicola, anyone remember the Elvis shop in the 80s called Reddington's in Birmingham? Got anyone else from Birmingham? I'm in Cheltenham, so our record shop, there was Stylus 4 and there was Format. Today we have a record store called Badlands. That's pretty much the only independent record store in Cheltenham. They do record store day. Marcus, hello. Don't be sorry you're late. Yep. Christian, yep, he agrees. We're fans and then later we'll become collectors. Paul, I don't see myself as a collector, more fan. You have 20 copies. I think we have to call ourselves collectors when we get 20 copies of one album. There's no sane reason for it unless you're collecting them. My 42 Blue Hawaiis, my dad's head would explode if he knew about that. I always remember I've been saving my money. 1975, Promised Land, coming out on the 8th of January. And I asked, my mum was going into town, and I gave her the money that I'd saved up, which wasn't enough to buy the record, of course. I said, would she get it for me? And she did, of course. So she handed me this sleeve, and I immediately fell in love with the cover. And I was reading the song titles and think, oh, what are these songs going to be like? And my dad looked over, he said, let's have a look. So I handed it to him. He said, what'd you buy this for? There are none of the hits on it. My dad didn't really get it at all. He was a Yorkshireman. Andrew, I've just purchased from Lyndall Morris and Stephen Schutz some of Elvis's hair. Really? I should imagine it's sealed in something and you can open it and touch it. Just imagine one day when science gets there, you might be able to grow your own Elvis. I think I'd have to unseal it and just touch it. You can say you've touched Elvis. Marcus, I just saw the last Sam Goody is closing. I assume that's an American record chain, is it? It's not something I've heard of. Ollie, isn't there a record store on Bath Road? Now the one on there is a shop on Bath Road, and I've never seen it open. It's quite tatty looking from the outside. I've never seen it open. In fact, I walked down there only when last Thursday I walked past it, and it wasn't open. There is a chap selling old records, the Vinyl Vault, not open every day, and unfortunately I find it difficult to get there when it's open. I've bought a few records from him over the years. Yeah, the Vinyl Vault is near the Oxfam bookshop. You go down some steps. Yeah, I do try and go there every so often. Mal, I bought my first Elvis record in 1960. Mal's probably got us all beat. 1960. We got any advance on 1960? Paul, I've been to your HMV shop. It was like a kid in the car. It's a good shop. They've moved it recently. It's still in the arcade, but they've moved it further back. I have to say, I don't like the way they've redone it. It's darker and it's more cramped. I assume it's cheaper. They bought a smaller shop. They rented a smaller shop. But yeah, they always have a very good selection. And one of the good things was I actually said to the manager once when I was buying a whole stack of CDs, I said, you've got a good selection. And he said, oh, Elvis always sells. And that was good to hear. Trevor, hello. Thank you. I'm feeling a lot better than I did. Tony, now wrong with Yorkshire. My dad's family moved to Cheltenham in the 1950s because my granddad he became manager of the Daffodil Cinema in Cheltenham. That's why they moved here. But previous to that, he was manager, and I love this, of the Dewsbury Opera House. And I always try to imagine opera sung with a Yorkshire accent. The Dewsbury Opera House. Marcus, grow your own Elvis. Yep. Thank you, Christian. Because Christmas time is always have to play the Christmas album, and the one I always play first is the Camden, because that was my Christmas album. And it always takes me straight back to a Christmas that for some reason is firmly implanted in my brain. And the front room is decorated, the tree's up, the decorations are up, because my mum would do the full, you know, streamers on the ceiling and everything. And I can remember the incident exactly in my head. The television is on, and Ice Station Zebra, the film, is on, but the sound is off. I've got the Elvis Christmas record playing, and I've got the Hoover out, and I'm hoovering around the tree. I was only a young kid. For some strange reason, I enjoyed, and I still do, I enjoyed cleaning the house. Weird, I know. But that moment, for some reason, meant something, and it's firmly stuck in my brain. So as soon as I put that record on, I'm taken back there. Michael, hello, Kansas City. I think Missouri is an unfortunate name. It sounds too much like misery. I wonder where it originated, what it means. Harold, hello. Eleanor, that is not what my record shop says. I'm lost. What did that relate to? Music and all that. Good to see you laughing. Thank you. I'm feeling good. I've had a really good few weeks. Spent a lot of money on records. I was quite lucky, actually. I found out that I had a small pension pot available. I spent 22 years working for one company. In the 1980s, they started a pension scheme, and you don't think about it then. They just paid money in. I paid money in. I left there, went to live in Finland, came back, another small pension pot started. That's the one that I found recently, so I've cashed it in. That's why I've got this extra money. And then I got a thing from the first pension fund with an astronomical amount of money in it, which has completely changed the outlook. When I do retire, I'm going to be fine. So any young people out there, start a pension scheme. Paul, where is everyone in the world? Paul's in New Zealand, currently in Australia. Now we've got people from all around the world now. And Elvis brings us all together, as he always has. 38 people watching now. I think that's the most we've ever had. For some reason, my video on getting the hi-fi system has already had almost 3,000 views, which is far more than I normally get this early. And I've gained a lot of new subscribers. So there seem to be a lot of people interested in Elvis on vinyl, which is great news. Marcus, my record shop says Elvis never sells. Isn't it strange? Somebody said recently that Elvis is more popular in the UK than in America, which is weird. But then again, I sometimes get asked by people abroad about the Beatles. And I have to say I have absolutely no interest in the Beatles. My dad actually worked with the Beatles. Because with my granddad being in theatre and cinema, my dad trained as a cinema projectionist. And I've told the story before, the first film he showed was King Creole, which is why he bought the single. But he also did lighting for live shows. And he did a Beatles show. And he has quite a few funny stories about the day. But one of the comments he always made was, it's a good job the girls were screaming so loud because they couldn't hear how bad they were. He wasn't impressed. Of all the shows he did, he said the one artist that really impressed him was Roy Orbison. I think my sister's got various photographs and things to do with my dad's career. Where did I get to? Tony, records and songs on my time machine. Yes, yes, there are so many records that mean something, that take you back. Harold, did you get from Elvis at Christmas MRS CD? I've not got the CD, I've got the vinyl. I did actually see the CD in HMV, so I'll probably pick it up next time I go there. I've got the vinyl. I did play the vinyl. It's very impressive what they're able to do, but I'm not that keen. FTD are looking at doing mono to stereo releases. I'd rather, if it's recorded in mono, then let it be mono. That's how Elvis heard it. That's what it was mixed for. That's how it's supposed to be. If it's available, if it was recorded in stereo as well, then fine. But I'm not that keen. I mean, what would be the point in turning Sun records into stereo? I really can't see the point. That's not how they're meant to sound. But we all have our own opinions. There's no right opinion. It's just that everyone else is wrong. Paul stumbled across an old worldly record shop in Southampton. They have a huge selection. Walked out with 12 albums. Hey, that's the way to do it. Alexander's in the Netherlands. Michael, Missouri came from an Indian tribe, right? Eleanor's in Devon. Others in Whitney. Dale's in Nottingham. Music and all that. What was the first album you played on your new system? I played from Elvis in Memphis. The one in the box. I didn't originally buy the one in the box. It's downstairs by the record player. But when I got the turntable, I thought, right, I'm going to get that. I'm going to hear that. And then I played Elvis's back, and then the Essential Elvis. These are all the what do they call them? Audiophile pressings on 45 RPM discs. I have now moved on to music on vinyl pressings. Oh, and Blue Hawaii, of course, which was fantastic. Blue Hawaii just sounds superb. I'm amazed at the instruments that I hear that I didn't hear before. I remember there was one time I could hear the cymbal, and it was so distinct and clear that I could picture the drummer doing that. It really brings it to life. Paul, yep, Elvis remembers for bringing people together, absolutely. Rob, hello. Eleanor was in the USA last year and picked up 20 albums. Excellent. When I went to Memphis in 1984 with the fan club, I actually took an extra suitcase empty. I threw a few clothes in it just to have something in it, but that was the one to bring back records, and I filled it. I actually ran out of money, and I was gutted. I ran out of money, and on the last day, we went into this hotel and they had some stands set up, and there they were selling the box set behind closed doors. I was gutted. I couldn't afford it. And it turns out it would have been the best thing I could have bought. Ollie, did you make a video recently of yourself wearing a hat and it disappeared before I could watch it? No, I've not had any videos disappear. I have worn other hats during videos, but not one that's disappeared. My last video of the record player nearly disappeared. I don't get it. You see people with videos where they play entire songs. On my video, when I first showed the record player, a record was playing. I'm moving on. And it's just like 30 seconds of the song in the background, and I'm talking over it, and it came up, you're not allowed to use this, copyright. So I had to remove that little bit of song from my video, otherwise they wouldn't have put it on. What's going on? Marcus, Central City, Nebraska. That's a good Bruce Springsteen album, Nebraska. David, can anyone help me find my milk cow? He's had no milk and butter since that cow's been gone. Dale, what is the album single 45 you most treasure in your collection? That's a tough question. There would have to be different ones for different reasons. My dad's copy of King Creole is very special to me, of course. My son 45 and 78. My early Camdens, because of the memories of my mum. So they'd probably be the ones at the top of the list. Alexandra, I'm currently picking up quite a few green label RCA Internationals. I've said anybody who's starting out collecting Elvis vinyl that's on a budget, go for the green label international releases. They use the original artwork on the front cover, and they're good pressings, and they're cheaper, at the cheaper end of the scale. They'll probably start going up as people start collecting them. But, they're really worth getting if you want to start buying the albums in their original format, so the original cover and the album. Go for the international label. Paul, Memphis next September. Fantastic. I, of course, would like to go back, but I think part of me would be disappointed because it looks very over commercialized now. It looks like a museum. I feel very lucky to have gone in 1984 because it legitimately felt like Elvis's house, like he popped out. You know, the cars were parked at the back of the house. Rising sun was in the paddock. All right, they had done some things to the house, like they'd gold records. I think the gold records, the way they were displayed back then, was far better. You walked along a long corridor, and both walls were lined from top to bottom, all the way along, with gold platinum discs, and it opened up into a hallway, and they had loads more. What I've seen lately, it looks to me as though there aren't as many on display as there used to be. So I don't know what's happened there, but to me it doesn't look, all right, it's still going to be impressive if you've not seen it in the old way, but to me the old way was far more impressive. Eleanor, on Don't You Can Hear the Squeak on the Drums. I've not heard that yet. I shall play that one. Paul, first time, it would be my 50th anniversary of being an Elvis fan. Oh, you'll love it. I mean, it is fantastic. The thrill of going through those gates for the first time. Because I assume they still do it. In the early morning, they open the gates and you're allowed to just walk up. They don't charge. I assume they still do that. Paul, funny how we collect a particular label or series, then find another to collect. Currently collecting the Red Label USA 45s. The gold standard Red Labels. Now, the gold standard singles, to me, I am absolutely sure that as massive as Elvis's record sales are, they're underreported. The gold standard series was started because they kept all of Elvis's singles in production. And they had 3 different series of them. Now, I'm sure there's no other artist where every single was kept in production. And why did they keep it in production? Because there was demand. People were going to record shops and asking for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. And I'm sure Elvis's record sales are underreported. In fact, RCA admitted that they lost a lot of paperwork. So, but there have been steps to try and find paperwork. Paul, with the whole copyright issue on YouTube, isn't a lot of Elvis music in public domain? That's a good point. I don't think YouTube appreciate that fact. But then it isn't universal, because you'll find people who are playing entire records on their videos. So it's very strange. I don't know what picks it up. I thought as I'd only played a part of it and I was talking over the top, it wouldn't be a problem. First time that's ever happened to me. Harold, show your New Zealand Elvis Christmas album. So for Harold, I told the story earlier of how I got it. Great front cover. So I was told this is the second pressing. There you go. And there is the album itself. I still get a thrill from finding something like this, and especially at the price I paid for it, which was a bit of a steal. But they were obviously happy with what they got for it, so Rob, not always the same sleeves. My RCA International Golden Records has 68 special image on the cover. Yeah, that was a reissue. That's true. Yeah, there are, but generally, if it's an original album, they tend to use the original covers, front covers. The back covers are different. But Golden Records has been released in so many forms over the years. Lila, hello. Are you going to the Elvis Evolution exhibition? I haven't booked. I'm waiting to hear what people think of it. I hope it's going to be really good. So if anybody here is going, let us know. Harold, Gold Records are across the street from the videos I've seen. The Gold Records are across the street. Oh, right. So they've moved them out of the house. That's a shame. I mean, it is becoming just a cold museum, unfortunately. I guess that's the way they have to go. As the people who actually knew Elvis fade away, and we get another generation in that never actually met him, it's not going to be the same. They're not going to have the same connection, are they? especially if you're getting museum professionals. Because once you get a professional in, it doesn't matter if it's a museum of Elvis or a museum of turnips. It doesn't really matter to them. Michael, I went to Graceland in '84, so you were there when I was there. Yeah, I've got a picture of me with Rising Sun. One of the staff actually brought him over to the fence so we could say hello. Rob, I was in Graceland in October. The walls are filled from ground to ceiling with gold and platinum discs. Right, so maybe the videos I've seen aren't doing it justice. I was hoping that was the case. I do wonder when you see these gold presentation discs being sold at a Graceland auction. What's going on? Do they have doubles? Alexander, I stopped my channel, your Elvis guide, because of the constant YouTube copyright terror. Right, so you've been through it as well. Strange how it affects some people and not others. Mark, still waiting for my first 745 I ordered from Japan on the 20th of November. Well, that's unusual from Japan. I've always had a really good experience with Japan. They've I assume you've got tracked and insured and everything. Well, let us know when it arrives. We'll probably hear the cheer. Lila, thoughts on the song The Lighthouse by J.D. Sumner? The look Elvis gives the group when they hit those notes. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with J.D. Sumner and the Stamps. I think the Imperials were a far better fit for Elvis's overall sound. And especially in the later tours, I think J.D. Sumner's voice was too prominent. It should have been mixed into the background where it belongs. Now, you might not agree with me. That's my personal opinion. It's difficult. I can't say I've listened to The Lighthouse that much, only when I've watched the film, of course. I don't know. What does everyone think of J.D. Sumner and the Stamps? I think the Imperials were better. Kerry, hello. Late. We should call you the late Kerry. You got here, that's the main thing. You can be late because you were the very first person ever to appear on one of my live streams. The very first time I went live, I was experimenting. I didn't realise that anyone would actually be able to see it. And suddenly Kerry popped up, said hello, which was a surprise. Paul, as a New Zealander, it makes me proud that you have a rare Elvis record. Yes, a great cover. I really like that. But another one I got recently, which I didn't put out, was the King Creole from New Zealand. A really nice first pressing. And what's unusual about it, if you've never seen it, is for some reason they gave Elvis green eyes. He has green eyes on the cover. King Creole. Let's see if I can spot it. You probably won't be able to see the green eyes, but it's a really nice copy. I also got this recently, if you haven't seen it. The King Creole Sessions, which I've not played yet. And it's on red vinyl. Nice cover though. So I will get round to giving that a spin. Then, where are you? talk amongst yourselves. Let's see if I can spot it. It should be here. I have reorganized my collection, so everything should be in the right place. So that's New Zealand first pressing, really nice condition. Now you can't see because of the lighting in here, but I can assure you that Elvis has got green eyes. Now I immediately remembered something from many, many years ago, which I don't know if any of you ever read. There was an English actress, not hugely famous, but famous in Britain, called Diana Dawes. And she wrote a piece in a Sunday newspaper that she had a fling with Elvis. And she wrote that she stared into his green eyes, which of course everybody was laughing, like, okay. And then I thought, was she in New Zealand at the time? Because Elvis has got green eyes in New Zealand. I'm getting a bit behind here. Harold, yes, I showed a lot of stuff and explained it earlier on. For those who've just arrived, I can quickly show you what was in the first hour. Let's move that there. So these were things I've picked up recently in my mad buying spree. Japanese first King Creole with the unique cover. I've got to try and make room so that these things don't fall over. Blue Hawaii from Korea, Kado Records. So this is Blue Hawaii number 42. I've got to hit 50. Oops, careful with that. This is from Argentina. Rubias contra Peliroias, which a very nice lady from Spain told me means redhead versus blonde, which pretty much sums the film up. From Australia, Hawaiian Sunshine. So it's mostly songs connected to Hawaii. Another of the RCA Special Products albums, which I didn't have, Songs of Faith and Inspiration, which is probably very common in America, but very difficult to get in the UK. This arrived yesterday. I was in concert, but it's the red vinyl version. I've been looking for this for quite a while. So I was really pleased to get that. And very kindly, the chap that sold me it said, I'll put in a Christmas gift. And I was expecting a card or something, but what he put in was this 10-inch alternate Moody Blue, which was really good of him. Elvis fans are very generous, kind people. I try to follow Elvis's example. My latest music on vinyl. I only need a few, and I've got the complete lot that I'm aware of. There doesn't seem to be a definitive list. Of course, the latest FTD, which I'm looking forward to playing. And then, oops, this very strange Australian Separate Ways. This apparently was released in the early 80s. So they decided to go with a different cover. Put these down here. And the last one is another one from Korea. King Creole, Domido Records. And we do have Korean text on the back. So I have been spending a bit of money. And then there were some CDs, but you can find those. Blah, 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 right. Lila, now you're listening to vinyls. Do you prefer headphones? I've not got headphones yet. I'm still enjoying listening on the speakers. I will get some good headphones, but I'm loving listening on the speakers. It's just fantastic. There's no comparison. Andrew, do you have many Elvis tan labels? And do you know why some were coloured tan? I have got tan labels. Some of the film soundtracks I've managed to get on tan labels. I think I've got 6 or 7 of them. Maybe I'll do a video on them. RCA just decided in 1976 to change the label. They went to tan. And then, of course, in 77, Elvis died, and they decided to change. They wanted to go back to their Nipper logo, as I understand it. So the tan label was only around for about a year. So they are quite, not rare, but some of them are quite scarce and valuable. So if you ever see one, what you've got to watch out for is that Canada and Australia had tan labels, but they had them far longer. So make sure you're not buying a Canadian tan label at the price of an American one. Marcus, JD Sumner's mic is too high. Yes, exactly, it is. He's too high in the mix. You should not be hearing him like that. He should be in the background, and it spoils the overall sound. Eleanor, when I was in San Diego, I popped into a little record shop and said, do you have any records? The girl pulled out 2 records in shrink. I paid 7 for the pair. Wow. A good day. That's what you dream of. I still dream of walking into a charity shop, going through the singles and finding the UK I've Got a Thing About Your Baby single. Because 99.9% of people selling that would want £1 for it. I've never seen one in the flesh, as it were, or in the vinyl. I've only ever seen pictures of it. Lila, hard to imagine Elvis being 90. Yeah. Yeah, it is. But I find it hard to know that I'm 60. I can't believe it. When I was young, 60 was an old man, near almost dead. In my brain, I'm 30. I had a laugh recently on one of the Elvis record forums. I put up some pictures from my collection, and an American guy put on, "You got a great collection, old timer." Old timer? Nobody's ever called me that before. Did make me laugh. Lila, your opinion, best Elvis Christmas tune? Oh, I hate these questions. If somebody put a gun to my head and said you can have one, it would have to be Santa Claus is Back in Town. That's just such a unique Christmas song. I can just imagine the first time people heard that song in 1957 and thought, now it starts off and they're thinking, oh, you know, this is jolly. And then those drums come in and like Elvis starts wailing. Horrified look on parents' faces. So it would have to be that, I think, though I would miss the others. Mal, I saw a Charlie Hodge video once and he said Elvis had green eyes. Why on earth would he say that? Strange, isn't it? I suppose there are lighting effects where your eyes can look different. But he would have known, surely. Eleanor, it wasn't until I got back home. Oh, they have the free pick. Wow. Oh, it's great to find them with bonus photos in. Marcus wants to know which 2 albums they were and did they have the hype stickers. Marcus has got the alternate Moody Blue one, and oh, there's an alternate today. Now this is the problem. Now I've got the Moody Blue, I'm going to have to find the Today. Damn that collecting gene. Harold, what CDs did you get? Where have I put them? Oh, there is one more CD that I didn't show. Where do I put the CDs? Here's one of them. This is the only regular CD. So this is a promo, the movie years. Is there a year on it? Can't see one. So I got that, and I've put the other ones down somewhere safe. Oh, I can see them. Oh, I haven't shown this album. I did put this on my community page. On stage, Uruguay. Elvis Presley on vivo grabado en el Hotel Internacional de Las Vegas. You didn't know I could speak Spanish, did you? Neither did I. Now, what surprises me about this, I don't know if you spotted it, mono. What on earth were they doing releasing a 1970 live album in mono? Did people in Uruguay not have stereo record players? I wonder if any other country released a mono version. Very strange. There is a blemish right on Elvis's nose, which looks very odd. All right, CDs. So these, I already had that one. And then I had the chance from one seller to pick up 4 more. So these are sent out every year by Graceland to presidents of Elvis fan clubs around the world. So they don't turn up for sale very often. I like that cover. I think that's the best one so far. Oops. Now the other thing I picked up, CD, which is still in its envelope. Again, it's something that's not easy to find. So again, this was sent out to presidents of Elvis fan clubs by Graceland. And in it was a CD and a letter. And the letter was inviting them to an event being held at Libertyland. And with it, in this case, was a CD. Elvis Rocks Libertyland. Now, according to, where did I read it? ElvisOnCD.com. There was a problem with the way the discs were printed. And so discs that weren't kept in their cases have deteriorated. So how many still exist? Nobody knows. So I was really pleased to get that. Has anybody else got one? Be interested to know. Lila, Elvis aside, do you like Christmas, or are you having a relaxing one? I always loved Christmas, but lately I find it quite sad. Being a bit sentimental, Christmas reminds me of the family that no longer exists. My mum and dad. brother and 2 sisters, and our dog. All my Christmas memories revolve around them. And of course, my mum and dad are gone. The dog's gone. My brother and sisters I don't see that often. They've got families of their own. And I find myself getting quite nostalgic and sad. So it's just me and my wife. So we'll spend Christmas quietly. I have to rest a lot. So we'll get some nice food in. And we'll enjoy it in our own way. But I do find a bit of sad. It's tinged with sadness. I guess that's part of getting older. Alexander, I only missed the Paradise of Wine style tan label. Right, so is that a really difficult one to find? I know some of them are very rare. Rob, maybe Charlie's colourblind. Maybe Charlie had had a few drinks, who knows? Right, Sonia, who is Julie? I was lucky not so long ago to find an original fab copy of the South African LP Elvis Rocks at a local record shop. £26. Yep, bargains do happen. You have to put the work in. You have to hunt them down. You have to keep looking. I'm lucky, and the work that I do is research. So it's very easy for me to keep an extra window open and constantly refreshing eBay. I've picked up some real bargains on eBay that way that have literally been listed like a few minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, look at the price on that, bang, buy. So I'm lucky in that way, but you do have to put the work in. Annie, what do you think of Cliff Richards, who refused to meet Elvis because he was too fat? My dad worked with Cliff Richards. He's another one he did a show for. Not that keen on him. We all know he was an Elvis copycat. It's quite funny if you see very early Cliff Richard. I mean, he's just doing an impersonation of Elvis. He came into his own as an artist. I mean, he had a decent voice, did some good songs, but he doesn't really do anything for me. He does say he regrets not going to see Elvis. Andrew, Steve, have you converted your wife to Elvis yet? My wife's Russian. She has very strange taste in music. She's a jazz freak. She used to go to the jazz clubs in Moscow. She's dragged me along to a jazz evening, which I didn't enjoy. I cannot sit through a 10-minute double bass solo. You ain't got that many notes on a double bass. She has this thing that she does to wind me up, and it used to work very well. Whenever she wants to say Elvis, she says Elton John. Oh, have you got a new Elton John record? Oh, you like Elton John? And I used to react, but I realised she's doing it on purpose. So no, she'll never be an Elvis fan. Eleanor, Frankie and Johnny, Harold Scarum. They did have hype stickers too. Wow. Great find then. Lila, you can imagine Elvis in his absolute element at Christmas, especially when Lisa Marie was a child. Now, if you watch the Elvis Archival Preservation Society videos, they had one on today with a chap giving his memories of Elvis. And he does tell a story about one Christmas. Elvis was supposed to attend a cinema. They booked the cinema, as they did regularly. But he was late turning up, and when he got there, he apologized. And he said he had been putting together a red tricycle for Lisa, a present. And the guard said Elvis insisted on doing it himself. He put every nut and bolt together, and he built that tricycle himself. And that tricycle is still at Graceland, and they put it out each Christmas on show. And he said they probably don't know the story, that Elvis personally built that. He said the guards kept saying, oh, let me help, let me do this. No, Elvis insisted that he did it himself. I like stories like that. It makes him human. I think everyone has ghosts at Christmas. They do indeed. Yep, time to be thankful for what we have, absolutely. I enjoy Christmas still, you know, don't get me wrong. Just there is this little element in the back of my head. That things like playing the first Christmas album just bring back memories. Everything revolved around my mum, of course. She was the centre of everything. Harold, did you see the recent documentary on the 68 TV special? I did. I like the fact that it brings Elvis back to public attention, but I don't think it really told us anything we didn't already know. It was, for me, it was a bit lightweight. Lila, Elvis Hello from Hawaii is always on Sky Arts over Christmas. Ah. It's good that he's still getting the exposure. I did read somewhere that there's an Elvis TV channel starting up. I don't think it's in the UK. It must be in America, surely. But I can't imagine a channel that's only showing Elvis. I don't see how that would work. "100% Pure Elvis is in the house. Hello. Thank you. I always watch your channel as well. We have a community now of Elvis channels that we all support each other, and it's really good. As we said earlier, bringing together people from all around the world. And of course, you're going to be doing your first live soon. So you have to let us know when it's going to be, and we can all come along. So anyone that doesn't know the 100% Pure Elvis channel, take a look. Just take a drink. Wawa. Oops. Ouch. Did I show everything? Oh no, a couple of singles. I do like European singles because they have different covers. So this is from Germany. Take good care of her. I got a thing about your baby. Orange. Does anybody have the UK pressing? Somebody must have it somewhere. It does exist. It's the only UK single I don't have, because of course they imported the American single into the UK. And the fans must have been delighted because it had a picture sleeve, so they'd have all bought the picture sleeve version. And of course, the UK pressing is the rarest of all of them. So if anybody's got it, we'll have to give you a round of applause. And the other one, which is French. The next step is love and I've lost you. My 1971 French re-release singles collection. I've now got over half of them. For those who don't know, in 1971, RCA France decided to re-release all of Elvis's singles with new picture sleeves, and some really interesting picture sleeves. And I started buying them over the years, and lately I've been making an effort to track them down. So I've got over half of them. I'll show you a few examples. I won't show you all of them because I'll have to do a video. Well, this will give you an idea. So the sleeves, of course, bear no relation to the single. That's all right. crying in the chapel. Let's find one of the better. There are some very interesting ones. I want some tonight. That's one of the more difficult ones to find. That one stuck on you. So there are, I think, 50 odd to get. I've got 30 now. So I just got to track down the elusive ones. Let's see if I can find one of the interesting ones somewhere. Anyway, I will do a video on them eventually. Have to show it again for anyone who hasn't seen it. The New Zealand Christmas album, The Holy Grail. And I've also picked up one DVD. Well, Blu-ray, in fact. Change of Habit. Nice Blu-ray. It comes with some extras. There you get, if I can get them out, some cards and some pictures from the film. There's, I think, 5 or 6 of them. And this one, in fact, is a little poster. I picked this up very cheaply. Surprisingly cheaply. On eBay. So again, look out for it. Oops. Where do we get to? Yep, it's great we all support each other, absolutely. So when Mark does his first ever live stream, he's a little bit nervous about doing it. Don't be, because we're all fans, we're all friends, we want each other to succeed, we're all here to support each other. So don't be nervous, just enjoy it. We're there to talk about Elvis. Ellen, did you listen to the Elvis radio show? No, I've not caught that. Is it good? Is it worth catching? Mark, don't be jealous of my collection. You've got albums I don't have. We've all got albums, special ones. We've all got our own collection, and it all means something to us. We can all aspire to have things. I said earlier, I've got a package coming from Germany. I was hoping it would be here because I was going to open it live. So when it does arrive, I'll do my best to resist opening it. And it is another, for me, Holy Grail, an album that all serious Elvis collections should have, and I didn't have. Found a copy in Germany for sale because there's something very specific about this one. And it was posted on the 6th of December. Packages from Germany should take 4 to 5 days. On the 9th, it left Germany, and then nothing until this morning, when it suddenly appeared at customs at Heathrow. So where it's been for all these days, I don't know. It should have been here a long time ago. But at least it turned up. I was starting to get worried. So when that comes, I will either make a video opening it or do another live opening it. Kerry, how many Elvis Christmas records and CDs are in your collection? A lot. I did count them at one point, but I've forgotten. I've got a lot. I can't stop buying Christmas records. There's only one Elvis Christmas record I refuse to buy. Some of you have heard this before. I still won't buy it. And that's the one where all they've done is put a red nose on him. That was so low effort that I just can't buy that one. I have to draw a line. Lila, what's your thoughts on Elvis tribute acts and your thoughts on Elvis AI videos? Elvis tribute acts, there are a handful of really good, sincere tribute artists, and there's a lot of crap. There's a lot that make me cringe with embarrassment. And the unfortunate thing for me is that for a lot of the general public, if you say Elvis, they don't think of Elvis. They think of some really fat guy in a lousy looking jumpsuit warbling away with a fake wig on. And Elvis in the 70s was not that. So generally I'm not keen on them. The one that impressed me the most when I saw a video of him was Sean Crush, something like that. He had Elvis's mannerisms and performance perfect. I don't know if he's still going, but I thought if the TCB band were all still here and the Sweet Inspirations were all still here and they put them on stage with him, that would be as close to seeing Elvis as you could get. Alexander's got to go. Thanks for coming in. Thank you. We're having a great evening. Have a good Christmas, if I don't get to talk to you again. And we'll look forward to the new year and the next FTD or 5. We're going to get to. Oh, and thoughts on Elvis AI videos. When I saw one of Elvis singing After Loving You, and it was very impressive. But they're starting to annoy me. And I hate these AI voices of Elvis singing other songs because it's not Elvis. And I have seen videos where people are making comments, and it's clear from the comments that they think that this is Elvis singing, and it isn't. So I don't like them. Mark, favourite Elvis movie? I hate questions about favourite. I can never pick just one. Favourite Elvis movie? I can't pick one. King Creole's got to be there. Does it include the documentaries? Because I'd have to include That's the Way It Is and On Tour. I like Change of Habit. I like Girl Happy. I like Blue Hawaii, of course. But picking one would just be impossible. Rob, is that Blu-ray rated 15? I didn't notice. Yes, it is 15. Oops, at the bottom. There you go, 15. Genre, drama, crime. Okay. Subtitles: Finnish, Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish. That's interesting. I spent 3 years in Finland. Absolutely loved it. Oh, my favourite Elvis movie. I got that wrong. Change of habit. Paul, I've started collecting those French singles. I have 24 of them. Long Lonely Highway. They are good, aren't they? I recently got a package of 6 of them from a French dealer. Harold, a ho 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 to all from Vienna. The Christmas markets must be in full swing, complete with armed security, unfortunately. What have we done to Europe? Well, we didn't do it, the politicians did it. So Alexander's wishing everyone a great Christmas. Michael's got a freezer being delivered. Thanks for coming in. Have a good Christmas. Enjoy your freezer. Rob, wow, an Elvis movie with an adult rating. Amazing. Maybe he could have done Midnight Cowboy, A Star Is Born. And Charro, of course. One of the great tragedies is that the original script of Charro was very much an adult film, and that's why Elvis wanted to do it. And after he agreed to do it, the script got completely watered down and he lost interest in it. There was even nudity in the film. And a lot of violence, which is why Elvis wanted to do it. Neither. Do you think Elvis's career was in the gutter before the '68 special? No. Elvis's films were very successful. His records still sold, not in the quantities they were selling in, but compare it to 99.9% of other artists at the time. And they would have only had to announce a tour and it would have sold out. So I think they went a bit over the top with it being in the gutter. Still had a lot of fans. But TV thing, they have to over dramatize everything. They have to make everything life and death. You know, it's because Elvis didn't come back in '68. He'd come back before Guitar Man sessions, How Great Thou Art sessions. Elvis was back already. The world just hadn't caught up with him. Harold, my latest purchase, 2 bootleg 45 EPs, Vegas Records. 2 bootleg 45 EPs from the late 70s, Vegas Records. Right. So they're originals, are they? Because they're now re-releasing all the bootlegs. They're bootlegging the bootlegs. Can't say I remember those. Don't know. They don't ring a bell. Harold's wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Rob, yes, I believe Charro was his attempt at Clint Eastwood style Western. Yep. Would have been interesting to see what he would have done with it. Blimey, I've caught up. Have I got anything else to show? I have bought other things, but I can't remember where I've put them. I bought another Russian album called The Early Years, which is somewhere up there. I got volume 4 of Elvis Forever, so I just need to find volume 5, which of course is the hardest one to find. Well, when I was going through everything, at the back of one of the cupboards, and strangely I hadn't missed it, was that. which I hadn't even opened. I've opened it now. I didn't even realise it was missing. It's weird. Anyway, so that's now come out. I'll give them a spin at some point. The great thing is, of course, I've got all these records to listen to, and a large percentage of them I've never played. So it's like rediscovering old friends. Lila, do you prefer vinyl, CD? Vinyl. Absolutely vinyl. Yeah, there's no comparison for me. Vinyl has a depth to it that CD doesn't. I said earlier on, to me, CD is listening to music in 2 dimensions, and vinyl, it's in 3 dimensions. Vinyl just opens up this whole landscape of sound that you don't get with CD. Paul, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos regarding serious record collecting, and the collectors always have Beatles, Bowie, Stones flown a show, but never Elvis. Now, there's a lot of snobbery. It's rife in the music press now that they look down on Elvis, but Elvis wasn't a serious artist. It just tells you what they are. Of course, the Beatles, Bowie, and I'm sure members of the Stones, big Elvis fans. A lot of the big artists, huge Elvis fans. But yeah, there is this thing about sneering at Elvis and trying to put down his achievement. He's almost too famous, too popular, too successful. Harold, I guess these 2 Vegas US vinyl EPs are pretty rare. I never saw it before. €10. I'll have to look them up. They don't ring a bell. We can't argue at €10. Rob, did you get From Elvis at Christmas? From Elvis at Christmas. I've got so many Christmas records that From Elvis at Christmas. When did that come out? What's on the cover? Merry Christmas, everybody, from Mark. Oh, the MRS. I've got the vinyl. I haven't got the CD. I looked at the CD. They had it in HMV when I went in last, so I might get it. Quite expensive. I've got the vinyl. All my Elvis Christmas vinyl is down here. There it is. That one. I played it. It's quite impressive how they can create fake stereo, but I don't want them to do it. I mean, they're even talking about doing the Sun recording. What is the point in that? They were recorded in mono. They're supposed to sound a certain way, so I'm not keen. Where did I get to? Starting to get behind again. Eleanor, do you clean your records? Now, when I spent a good 6 months researching what turntable to buy and all this kind of thing, and there's a chap on YouTube, a channel called Cheshire Audio, I think. He owns a shop in Cheshire selling audio equipment. He's been at it for many, many years. And I found his advice of everybody to be the best. And he actually said that if somebody rings him up and says, I want to buy this particular thing costing £500, he asks them, what's your system? And if he thinks it doesn't suit, he'll say, no, buy this cheaper one. So he comes across as very trustworthy. And he does videos on all different aspects of vinyl and the equipment and that. And he said absolutely explicitly, do not clean your records. Don't touch them. He said the only thing that should clean a record is the needle, the stylus. Don't clean your records. So I'm taking his advice. Now, of course, if you get an old record out, it's covered in dust, then you're going to take some kind of cloth and wipe it off. But other than that, he said, don't touch them. So I'm going with what he said. I'm sure other people have got, record cleaners and they swear by them. So it's what you think is best. But he said he has had people come to him bringing in turntables saying there's something wrong with my turntable, and they bring a record and he says, and as soon as I look at the record I can see they've cleaned it, they've over cleaned it. There's residue of the cleaning fluid in the grooves, which is knocking them. And he said, stop cleaning your records. They generally, if you look after your records, they don't need it. Lila, which one of your videos did you have to do a lot of research for? The one on the sun stampers and the push pins. The more I got into it, the more interested I became, and then I went into how I find it fascinating how a record is actually made. I did not appreciate just how much is involved. So that's the one I did the most research for. I'd like to do more videos like that if I can just think of a subject. Rob, forget CDs, stick to vinyl. I buy, for playing, it'll be vinyl, but I do like to collect CDs, and I've got cassettes collection. The only thing I didn't get into was 8-tracks. Mark, thank you, Steve, and everyone for supporting my channel. That's our pleasure. We all need to support each other. Harold, Ray Charles said that there were other people greater than Elvis. Yeah, you can think that. That's up to him. Quite often you find that people with this attitude have misunderstood something. So his opinion is probably rooted in a misunderstanding. You can probably guess what misunderstanding, but we'll leave it at that. David, could you show me the original first British release of Golden Records? That'll be the one with the pictures, if I can spot it, because it's not easy when you've got loads of albums looking at you to pick one out. Let's see if I can see it. I've got so many versions of it, and a lot of them look the same. Don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it out. What's this one? I did make a video quite a long time ago. I'll have to dig it out and do a video. Again, it's one of these albums that I've got so many copies of, but putting my hand on a particular copy is not straightforward. I will find it. Rob, speaking of Sun, I visited the studio in October and sat at the piano where the $1 million picture was taken. Yep. It's great when you go to Sun and they say, you know, there's the spot where Elvis stood. So we all have to go and stand there. Those walls got to hear music that we're never going to hear, because we know he did record other things at Sun. David, if you search back somewhere, I did a video on Gold Records Volume 1, and I showed the different versions of the first album. Of course, they call it the $1 Million Quartet, but Johnny Cash didn't actually take part. So it was the $1 Million Trio. Harold, a few weeks ago, I purchased Elvis Christmas album with the 1959 picture German orange label in electronically reprocessed stereo. Wow. There's so many variations. Either any thoughts on which Elvis song might have made a fantastic James Bond movie theme? I suppose the one that sounds most like James Bond has got to be Churro, hasn't it? It'd have to be a dramatic song, Edge of Reality. I don't know though, because James Bond themes, I mean, I think they're specifically written, aren't they? But those are the two that come to mind. Paul, don't suppose you want to sell some of your cassette collection, trying to complete my UK editions? I don't have any doubles. Are you collecting the orange paper label versions? Because that's the ones that I go for. But I went into a charity shop and they had this for £1. It isn't an orange paper label, but it was £1. I couldn't leave it there. So I don't know why I bought it. These are what I collect. So these are the original UK. So they have a red banner at the top, and the cassette itself has an orange paper label. So those are the ones I look out for. I've got most of them now. I had an annoying incident a few months back. Somebody on eBay was selling the UK orange label love letters, which I didn't have. So I won the auction. It wasn't a lot of money, but I was pleased to get it. And he said he posted it and it never arrived. So eventually he gave me the money back. And then 2 weeks later, he relisted a love letters with an orange paper label. And I think he just didn't get what he wanted for it, which was very frustrating. And I was so annoyed that I didn't bid again. So hopefully he didn't sell it at all. Eleanor, have they ever listened to Elvis's? Have they ever listened to Elvis's voice in the 60s? Who? You lost me there. Not sure what you mean. Rob, I think Johnny claims he did participate. Not sure his recollections are trustworthy. Yeah, I can't say I can hear his voice. And at one point, Elvis says We Need Johnny Cash for this song, if you remember. Because several people said he was there for the picture, then he left. Rob, Edge of Reality Bond theme, yep. Harold 007. How would you like to be? David, have you played the Christmas Duets CD yet? I haven't. Is it worth listening to? I'm not really keen on duets, on fake duets. Is it worth it? If you say it is, I'll give it a go. Eleanor, when I went to Nashville Studio B, I played the piano. Wow. A direct connection. That was like Christian, who went to some place and they had a piano there that Elvis had played. Lila, I always thought You'll Be Gone was dramatic Bond theme. I like You'll Be Gone. A surprising thing about You'll Be Gone, which I had to say made me laugh, Morrissey of the Smiths fame, who I was never a fan of. Apparently he's an Elvis fan, and one of his favourite songs is You'll Be Gone, and he sings it live in his concerts. And if you look on YouTube, you'll find him singing it. So he can't be all bad. Eleanor, my cassettes are from all over the world. I have to be careful because the collecting gene in me is so dominant that when I buy one thing, I get the itch to start buying more. So I have to try and restrict myself. So I chose the orange paper labels. I do have a couple of American silver paper labels, but that's where there doesn't seem to have been a UK version released, like Raised on Rock. I've never seen a Raised on Rock with an orange paper label. Paul, there is an author based in Scotland who's planning a book on UK cassettes. Oh, right. Just Elvis cassettes, is this? David, way down for a Bond theme. Kerry has to go. Wishes everyone a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Kerry. Thanks for supporting the channel. You're one of my early supporters. Have a great Christmas. Let's hope for a better new year. You wouldn't think it could get any worse, but just when you think that. It's 10, just coming up to 10:30. So I shall have to start thinking about getting off soon. I have to be somewhere tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. So again, it's been great fun. And thank you to everyone for turning up and contributing so much. That's what makes this fun. It's not just me babbling away. It's good to get to know some of the people behind the names that leave the comments. I've been truly astonished by the reactions, because when I first did this, it was an experiment. I thought, well, if a couple of people watch, that'll be good. So I've been amazed. Today I went over 1,200 subscribers, which just astonishes me. So hope I can keep think of videos to make. I've got plenty of albums that I haven't shown, plenty of little collections that I'm putting together within it. So yes, the book will be on Elvis UK cassettes. All right. Especially the Camden releases. It's amazing how things turn up. Last year, I was just surfing around and I came across these. I'd never seen them before. So little sets of Camdens. Oops. So they came like that. That was volume 2. And this is volume 1. I'd never seen it before, and I've never seen them since. So there's still things to discover. Rock Smith, hello. Thank you. I appreciate all the good wishes, but my health was very up and down for a while. And it did help to read that there were people out there. There were some very lonely times in hospital. So I appreciate all the messages. It's quite sobering when a cardiologist comes up to you and says you're half an hour away from dying. Makes you appreciate what you've got. I said afterwards, nothing's going to get me down that much. There's nothing in this world, because I could very easily have been 6 foot under now. So I enjoy all my Elvis records. Thank you, David. Oh, there'll definitely be some Elvis films on, and lots of listening to records. Thank you, Eleanor. Thanks, Rob. Gary. Thank you. Harold. Thank you. Jivatone. I hope these people haven't just turned up. I hope they've been lurking in the background. It'd be very sad if they just turned up. I don't actually have any Friday music releases. I've never bought one. I've been concentrating on getting all the music on vinyls at the moment, but we'll see. Oh, Ellen has never seen them. Alan, thank you. Wayne's TCB Vinyl, hello. And thank you. We'll do this again soon. When my package from Germany arrives, I'll do it live, so you can all share the fun of opening it up. As I said, it's another holy grail that I think all serious collections should have a copy of. I've wanted one for a long time, but it had to be a specific version of it. And I finally found one. So it's currently at Heathrow, going through customs. Drive time, I always miss the notifications. I wonder why that is. Mal, thank you. Speak to you soon, yep. When you get your King Creole. So I'll say good night to everyone. I hope you all have a great Christmas. Got all your families around you. Get everything you want. Paul, no Friday music. Rob's last package from Germany took a long time as well. The Germans are supposed to be efficient. Well, it left Germany quickly. It got stuck here. Let's hope that next year is going to be better. You would hope it couldn't get any worse. Things aren't looking that great at the moment. In the UK, we have a pretty hopeless government, but let's hope for the best. And I'll keep hunting, Ellen, I will. So hopefully see you all soon, because when the German package arrives, I'll put up another announcement of another live stream to open it up. We can all look at it together. So bye, Harold, Paul, and hopefully see you all soon then. Thank you. Mark? Is that everybody? I don't like to leave anybody. Friday Music has digital remastered, not the original sound, right? Okay then, so good night to everyone. Bye for now. Andrew, thank you. Just got in. Rocksmith, Canada, oh dear. Yes. Yes. You need to get rid of that man. End stream. Right. This is it then. Bye.